You are going to need your imagination and pretend that watercolors are not impossible to learn. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys everything you need to know to start your watercolor journey. So welcome to Ruby's Beginner Guide to Watercolors. Let's get started. The first supplies you are going to need will be 2 jars for dirty and clean water. This will ensure that your colors don't get muddy in between mixing. Next, you will need watercolor paint. There are different types, but I will be using the Arteza and Winsor & Newton Cotman set. I mixed them together to create my own palette. After that is your choice of paper. You can use a sketchbook, watercolor block, or watercolor sheets. I'll be using cold press, but there is also hot press. Just use paper that's suitable for watercolor painting. Next is brushes. I will be using a round brush and I will be using a flat brush, but just grab any basic brush for watercolors. You will also need a mixing palette of some sort, and some other things I use are a heat gun for drying. I like to use masking fluid for masking off parts I don't want to be painted, and I also use tape for that. Some basic watercolor techniques that you will be commonly using is wet on wet. This creates a really nice fanning effect, leaving soft edges to your painting. Wet on wet is also used for blending colors easily. They will naturally blend, or you can work the colors together in a way that you would like. This is probably going to be the main one that you guys focus on, as it's the easiest to do. Dry brushing is using a brush with very little water to create texture. And you can use a mix of all the different techniques to create sharp and soft effects. This is also another one that you'll probably be commonly using. Next, we're moving on to the demonstration. Here I am working up the layers of my background to my desired interest. And then I start adding in different tones and different colors to kind of create a galaxy effect, but it's not a galaxy. I'm also adding in some pinks, and I add in black at some point, and I'm just trying to make it seem like she's floating through her own thoughts as she's dancing. Here you will see me working with that flat brush. This is what I'm talking about when I say you should probably have a brush that's for details and a brush that is for large washes. Now I'm going in with my round brush and I'm working the base layers to the skin tone. One thing you'll realize with watercolors is you cannot bring things to a lighter state, so you always want to start with extremely light layers and build up the colors. Here I am using my heat gun to speed up the drying time, so you do have to wait for layers to dry. And then now I'm going in and I'm using the dry on wet technique, where I am going to add in the details to her leotard, and now I'm working in some more layers to her skin. After that, I'm going to add in my final touches. I'm using a gold and silver paint to create this whimsical look. So this is the masterpiece that I created. So now it's time for you to take the basic watercolor skills that I taught you in today's video, use your imagination, and pretend that you're a professional watercolorist, and get out there and create your own masterpiece. You can watch this playlist here while you do it.